4, 5. So there were 2 muffins per person.
Yeah, the problem is the two of them here are potato and cornbread fiends.
Okay.
You say fiends like it's a bad thing. Oh, by the way, Mark, we were kind of sloppy, and could you give us a napkin? There's cornbread on the floor.
Found you a piece.
Well, that's awfully nice of you, really.
Now, it did fall apart a little bit on us.
Tissue on that, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to make honey butter.
Okay.
So when we warm them up, what I'll do is I'll put them in the oven with a rag around them that's soaked in water. So that will actually re-moisten them while getting them warm.
Is that kind of like the cornbread, like fruit bread theory?
I've never heard that theory. I just know from working in restaurants that if you put a little bit of moisture in with bread, it tends to keep it moist. And
Well, I'm thinking like fruitcake when you wrap the rag of like alcohol around it.
no, what you're doing is you're soaking it with alcohol in the hopes that people will forget that it's fruitcake.
It works.
Here, have some Everclear. Hey, is it in fruitcake? Yeah, but it's Everclear. Okay.
Okay, I have a question. We also agree about the potatoes. I'm assuming the more is better. Do they need to take time to boil?
Yes. Once you put them in, the water should already be boiling. It's got to come back to boiling, and then you've got to give them at least 7 to 10 minutes to cook all the way through.
Now, do you salt the water or you leave it as is?
I will be honest. Here's my problem with salting the water for the potatoes. When you salt the water for pasta, it increases the speed at which the pasta cooks, and it also flavors the pasta. And the flour that the pasta or the whatever the substance that the pasta is made out of, because it's not always flour, it will absorb some of the sodium and it'll taste better. Potatoes will soak up every single bit of sodium in anything that it does. In fact, one of the ways to pull sodium out of a dish is to stick a whole potato into it and allow the sodium to draw into the potato. It doesn't, however, change the flavor of the potato. And since you're not really concerned about how quickly the potato is cooking because it's in boiling water and you're just going to cook it until it's done, I would not salt the water for the potato just because it's kind of a wasted effort.
Okay, we do love alcohol too. Thank you for the potato info.
Well, I did once have a gentleman make me a dinner, and the mashed potatoes, he called them salted mashed potatoes. They were actually boiled in a pound of salt.
Why?
Like, it was the craziest thing. It was really good, incredibly salty, but yeah, it tasted good, but it was boiled in.
No, isn't the same gentleman who cooked his steak with the backside of a cast iron pan?
Yep.
Okay, so my colander is not big enough. Well, it's big enough now that I dropped the potato on the floor.
Tetris.
Shut up. It's not big enough to hold all the potatoes. Now you can have a really big colander. In my Italian family, my grandmother's colander was huge. But for the normal family size, it looks like an 8-pound bag of potatoes is basically the maximum amount of potato that will fit in this colander. Minus that one piece that just hit the deck.
Grandma, you got such a huge colander.
Yeah, that's really disturbing once again.
Why do you sort of sound like alfalfa?
Okay. So we're almost at the point where we've cubed all the potatoes. I'm going to turn the water back on high. And it should come to boiling within just a minute or two. You don't want to leave the potatoes out of water or out in general for too long because they'll start to brown rapidly, which is never a good thing. But slicing, the amount of time that it took to slice all of those, that's totally fine. Okay, I'm going to check the carrots one more time.
Okay, so Smoked Caribou says, "You're all awesome, amazing people."
Aww.
Thank you, Smoke Caribou.
And here comes the butt. Okay, the carrots are now fork tender, so that's perfect because we're gonna roast them in the oven as well. So you don't want them to be so tender that they're falling apart. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take them out now, and we're gonna put them to the side. Now, normally I would do something dumb like reach in and grab the metal prong with my fingers, and then I would scream for a few minutes. But since this is live streaming, we're gonna try and avoid that at all cost. Mostly because of decorum. I know that I sound self-depreciating quite a bit, and I swear that I have a relatively healthy sense of self-esteem, but I am also the guy who got so excited that he wanted to try making gnocchi for the first time, and put the steaming potatoes down, mixed in the flour, and went, and then realized that they are like napalm, and they don't go anywhere, and I was like, so if there's anything that you can take from my cooking, please take that I care deeply about you, and I will tell you about all the mistakes that I've made, and I'm sure that I have made at least 1,000 mistakes, and before I'm done, I have at least another 5,000 to 10,000 mistakes left in me. Yeah,
Do you think his math is on that? I mean, do you think really he's only got 1,000? I thought it was higher.
I'd probably double it at a minimum.
yeah, you guys are sweet, really sweet.
Yeah.
Well, if you include alcohol, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, did he ever give you swamp water?
Okay, so there's a bar in Tempe, Arizona. Oh no, I'm sorry, not Tempe. Phoenix, Arizona. Right a little ways from Cave Creek, where my sister used to live, and it's called Pinky's, and they, God bless them, would have shot drinks, and so one night when I was younger, and my sister was trying to get me to be like a normal human being and go out and have a good time, which never works, by the way. There was an attractive young lady going around with shot drinks. And my sister was very fond of the Scooby snacks and the swamp water, and there was one other one, and I can't remember the name of it. But I tried the swamp water because my sister told me that it was delicious and that I had to have one. Had one, it was great. So I got the recipe because that's what I do, and I came back to being a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps in the barracks. I think the statute of limitations is up on this one. So, you're not supposed to have hard alcohol in the barracks. You're not supposed to have hard alcohol in the barracks and be on the commanding general staff.
Or be roommates with the deck NCO.
Yeah. So, shenanigans followed. Now, nobody ever got pregnant, nobody ever got a DUI, and nobody ever died.
We made sure everybody got home safely,
But-
or at least, well, you and the deck NCO made sure everybody got home safely.
But we did have a good time.
Yes, we did.
My favorite though was when he pulled out this drink, it kind of glowed.
Yeah, it glowed like this horrible, unholy green. I think it most reminded me of World of Warcraft, the orc black magic.
Yeah, I do remember when Infamous Taco Tuesday that you served that to us.
I claim complete innocence. I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me. I was never there.
I ended up with the freaking seals.
I have pictures.
When you say SEALs, do you mean like special operations capable, or are you?
SeaWorld seals.
No,
No.
you're in La Jolla. What do you got?
I ended up with the
In the
seal.
cove.
Yes.
Before they closed off the cove, it used to be open and you could walk down there, so she was shit-faced drunk.
On marshmallow
Hey,
water.
language.
Just sat down, and it was awesome because a baby seal came towards her. the mother seemed really aggressive, but then she basically looked at Maria and was like, well, she's drunk off her knockers. So the mother just put her head back down and let the kid, hang out with her. So I got a great. I walked into the water and took a photograph.
We have proof.
So I actually have a great shot of Maria sitting there surrounded by seals. We were just looking at her like, wow, you're drunk.
Special
Okay,
limitations
so
over.
the potatoes have just been put into the boiling water. It's probably going to take about maybe 4 or 5 minutes for them to come back to boiling. I don't know. I don't know why this is the case. There's probably a scientific reason, and if you're a food scientist, I would appreciate to find this out. But pasta and potatoes should be left uncovered when they're boiling, because the starch has a tendency to become,
Lather.
well, it's not good for anybody. The pasta becomes very starchy. The potatoes become like
Gluey?
basically gluey. That's probably the best way to describe it to somebody that doesn't know how to explain it. If you want your potatoes to be beautiful, allow them to come back to boiling without a cover. I know that it'll make you feel better if you put a cover on it and it comes to boiling faster. It's not worth it. It's just let it do its thing and let the starch come out of it as it boils.
I need one of these big pots.
It's the mug.
Like one of my 3 big pots.
Well, I'm thinking I need one for when I make mashed potatoes. That might
Okay.
be enough mashed potatoes.
Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn to taking out the trash and putting in a new bag.
He's just trying to find something he can throw it out.
By the way, chicken is 27 minutes in now.
Perfect. Thank you.
I got it.
Jaime, you are the best.
I got it.
I'm going to put it in a new bag. I'm going to wash my hands, and then we're going to start playing again. This time we're going to focus on making the preparations for the stuffing, and then we're going to go into the preparations for the green beans, the Italian breaded string beans. If I had to choose one thing, and one thing only for Thanksgiving to eat, if it was a sad day indeed, I would go with the Italian breaded string beans every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
How long was the chicken supposed to be in for?
Well, because it's braising,
Okay.
and it's in liquid, we don't have to worry about it too
Okay.
much. But I'll check on it in just a moment or two.
Now, I personally like adding a head of garlic in there.
Into the potatoes?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, except I think that it would get lost. I think what I would do instead is take a whole head of garlic and put it into the oven, wrapped in a little bit of aluminum foil, or maybe one of those terracotta little things. Roast it to the point where it's soft, and then take the roasted garlic, squeeze it out into the mashed potatoes, and make a roasted garlic mashed potato.
Is that terracotta thing called a planter pot?
I don't know what it is.
It's not a terracotta thing. I know.
It's a little
It's
oven for your
Oh,
whole
it's
clothes.
It's a garlic roaster.
I know what you're talking about. It's actually called a garlic roaster?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's called a garlic roaster. I wonder what it's used for.
That sounds so knowing, like you've known that all along, Lee.
It's like, what's the recipe for grilled cheese
Why don't you
sandwich?
stop for a moment and say thank you, Maria?
Thank you, Maria.
Once again, saving the day.
It's called a garlic roaster. We use it for ham hocks and beans.
It's perfect for Raymond's.
Okay, So here we are. We just steamed the carrots, and what we're going to do now, is we're going to steam the green beans. But I haven't cleaned them yet, so that should be an enjoyable little 10-minute escapade. I'm going to, now that the cornbread is cool, we're going to pass it forward and put it on the table.
Yeah. Are we not supposed to eat it?
You're not supposed to eat it? No.
Not supposed to eat it.
Okay, Carl.
Corn.
Achoo! All of it's mine. I mean, sorry.
Okay.
I need a knife.
Just defend it.
That was a very scary noise.
That was the chicken, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was, but it was definitely something was making a cry for help. Okay. Where did the cover go? There it is. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to, once again, pull the chicken out and take a look at what we're dealing with. And then we're going to take a look at the squash and see how that's coming along.
It's talking to you.
Yeah.
Is that the chicken or the squash?
I think it's saying it's hot.
Who's that? This is squash, yeah.
Sounds like an alien language.
The scary part is rhythmic. There's pattern to it.
It's got timing.
I could make a Latin beat to this.
Yeah, totally.
So disturbing on so many different levels, guys.
We love you, Mark.
Call this one El Pollo Muerto.
Yeah.
Okay. Shh. Stop talking.
You can have a backhanded for back talking you.
Well, so
Okay.
that wasn't the chicken. That was the squash.
That was the squash.
Ah.
Okay, so here's what we've got.
What do you need?
Peppers. Here we are. Okay. So the brine has reduced to about 2/3 of where it is. The chicken appears to be cooked all the way through. I'm turning it one more time just to be on the safe side. But I will have Maria come forward and take a look at this and confirm what I am seeing. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Is it nice and moist?
It is nice and
And
moist.
it looks like it's cooked all the way through?
I think this one might need a little bit more time, but I think this one we're okay with.
Well,
Well,
we're
just
gonna put them back in.